They look untouchable, rings on their fingers, smiles on their faces. A house, a husband, a family. From the outside, everything seems perfect. But beneath that polished surface, there's a storm brewing. This isn't about betrayal. It's not about wild women or loose morals. It's about emotional starvation. You see, the most vulnerable women aren't in nightclubs or on dating apps. They're in upscale gyms, office meetings, and PTA groups, wearing wedding bands, holding yoga mats, checking off to-do lists, and silently screaming for something more. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. The most loyal-looking women are often the most neglected. Not physically, but emotionally. And when a woman stops feeling seen, she starts looking, not for a man, but for herself. That version of her who laughed louder, lived wilder, and felt alive. And the man who triggers even a flicker of that forgotten fire becomes a mirror, a magnet, a moment she didn't expect, but can't forget. So today, we're peeling back the mask. We're exposing the hidden reasons why married women, yes, the ones society calls safe, become the easiest targets for emotional chaos, validation traps, and quiet affairs. Brace yourself. This isn't soft. It's real. And once you see it, you'll never look at a wedding ring the same way again. She wakes up beside a man she once dreamed about, yet somehow she feels miles away. The same kitchen, the same conversations, the same mechanical kiss before he leaves for work. From the outside, it looks like peace, but on the inside, it's quiet suffocation. Comfort is her cage. Not because she's ungrateful, not because she wants chaos, but somewhere along the way, the fire went out, and no one noticed. Marriage often begins like a storybook, full of passion, connection, and dreams. But over time, routine becomes the villain no one saw coming. Predictability sneaks in, not as a threat, but as a slow drip of numbness. Dinner, dishes, deadlines repeat. The thrill that once made her feel alive, replaced by safety, by structure, by slants. But deep in her chest, a question grows louder each day. Is this it? She's not chasing another man. She's chasing herself. The version of her that used to light up a room. The one who laughed without guilt, moved with confidence and felt seen. And when she crosses paths with someone who carries presence, someone who doesn't need her, but notices her, something dangerous happens. The ache becomes a spark. The spark becomes temptation, not always physical, but emotional. A flicker of escape from the cage she built around herself. This isn't about infidelity. It's about invisibility. And the truth is, a single compliment. You look stunning today. And suddenly, the fog begins to lift. Her heart races, not because she desires the man who said it, but because for the first time in a long time, she feels visible. This is the quiet addiction no one talks about. It's not lust. It's not rebellion. It's validation, and it's as potent as any drug. In a world that praises routine and comfort, many married women slowly disappear behind the roles they carry. Wife, mother, organizer, provider. She wakes up, gets dressed, does her duties. But who sees her? Not just the caretaker, not just the spouse, but the woman beneath it all. That's where it starts. A flirty emoji, a harmless DM, A co-worker who says, "Wow, you've still got it." And just like that, dopamine hits. She doesn't want him. She wants the feeling he gave her. Social media only amplifies the craving. A heart emoji here, a fire reaction there. It's all emotional currency in a relationship bankrupt of attention. The tragedy, she may never cheat with her body, but her heart, her mind, they've already wandered, pulled by the magnetic need to feel desired again. This is the validation drug, legal, silent, deadly. And every time her husband forgets to notice, the addiction grows. She doesn't look like the type. She's smiling in family photos, organizing school lunches, and reminding her husband to pick up groceries. She kisses the kids goodnight and posts anniversary captions online. But beneath the soft voice and sweet exterior, there's a storm she won't speak of. This isn't the woman with stilettos and scandal. This is the woman you'd never suspect. Because when betrayal wears a mask of innocence, it becomes almost impossible to detect. Many women don't cheat because they're cruel. They cheat because they're starving for attention, for appreciation, for validation they once felt and no longer do. But instead of addressing the disconnect, they camouflage it. They smile. They stay physically present. They perform their roles. And slowly, silently, they drift. They weaponize sweetness because no one questions the woman who's always been good. But Stoic men, aware men, know better. They read energy, not appearances. They sense when affection becomes obligation. They notice when "I love you" sounds more like a routine than a truth. And by the time the affair reaches the bedroom, it's already over emotionally. This is the side of infidelity no one talks about. The one that doesn't look like cheating, but feels like emptiness. So don't be fooled by the frosting. Sometimes the sweetest slice hides the deepest rot underneath, and the women no one suspects. They are often the ones already gone. You felt it before you saw it. The silence at dinner, the way she scrolls through her phone a little longer, the smile that doesn't quite reach her eyes anymore. By the time she physically strays, she's already gone. See, cheating doesn't start in the bedroom. It starts in the mind, in the small emotional exits she takes every single day, the conversations she no longer wants to have, the laughter that used to come easily now feels forced. She says she's tired, distracted, just stressed. But deep down, she's checked out. And here's where most men fail. They wait until they find a message, a missed call, a slip-up. But by then, you're not catching the betrayal. You're witnessing the aftermath. Her emotional detachment doesn't begin with another man. It begins with disconnection. When you stop seeing her, when she starts shrinking into routine, when her needs go unspoken and unmet. She doesn't leave out of nowhere. She fades, like smoke from a fire long gone cold. That's why the most dangerous affair isn't physical, it's emotional. And it happens right in front of you, while you're still sleeping next to her. In this segment, we'll break down the real signs that she's emotionally gone. Subtle changes in tone, detachment masked as busy, and the emotional walls she builds brick by brick. Because once you learn to see it, you'll never be blindsided again. You won't find it in her words, but you'll feel it in her silence. The way she lingers in thought. The way her smile doesn't quite reach her eyes. She's not chasing another man. She's chasing a memory, a version of herself that feels like a ghost, long before the affair, before the DMs. Before the "it just happened," there was a shift, a quiet unraveling. She became someone's wife, then someone's mother, then someone's schedule, chauffeur, caretaker, and cook. And somewhere in all those titles, she lost herself. The woman who used to dance without reason, who laughed too loud, who felt alive, desired, and seen. That version of her didn't disappear. She was buried. So when a man comes along who mirrors that lost version back to her, who reminds her, even in a glance, of who she used to be, it's not about him. It's about her. It's not lust. It's not betrayal. It's reclamation. The most dangerous affairs aren't born from desire. They're born from identity starvation. And the men who understand this don't ask, "Why did she do it?" They ask, "When did she stop being her?" This is the truth most won't say out loud. She's not looking to escape her marriage. She's looking to escape the woman she's become. And every affair, every glance, every emotional entanglement is just an echo of her trying to find her way back. Some men argue, others beg, but the Stoic man, he observes, then vanishes. He doesn't chase answers. He doesn't explode in anger. He watches quietly, attentively, as the energy shifts. The laughter that used to feel real, now forced. The affection, robotic. The conversations, hollow. Most men ignore these signals, hoping it's just a phase. Stoic men don't. They know when the air gets heavy, when the silence gets louder, and when her smile is no longer for him. While others get blindsided by betrayal, the Stoic man has already seen the storm coming, weeks, maybe months before it hits. Because he doesn't need dramatic proof. He doesn't need a confession or a confrontation. His power lies in detachment, not denial. He understands that true strength isn't in fixing someone who's already left you emotionally. It's in preserving your own peace. So he doesn't beg for love. He doesn't interrogate her phone. He simply exits, cleanly, silently, with dignity intact. No screaming, no chaos, just presence, then absence. That's the Stoic code. Feel the shift. Respect the signs. Walk before the storm breaks. Because the man who walks away first doesn't lose the relationship. He saves himself from a war that was never his to fight. So here we are. The masks are off, and the truth stands unfiltered. They look perfect. Smiling wives. School lunches are packed. Instagram captions glowing with anniversary hashtags. But beneath that surface, silence. Suppressed longing, a hunger that routine can't satisfy, and a loneliness too familiar to speak out loud. They're not searching for chaos. They're chasing the version of themselves that once felt alive, wild, and seen. And the saddest part, most men never see it happening until it's too late. But you're not most men. You've seen behind the curtain. You understand now that the most dangerous betrayal doesn't begin in the bedroom. It begins with being seen, unheard, forgotten. This isn't a warning to fear women. It's a reminder to understand them. Because when you see the signs, feel the shift, and know the truth, they can't blindside you. And if the connection is dead, you don't beg, you don't break. You walk, silent, strong, untouchable. That's not weakness, that's Stoic power. If this message hits deep, it means you're not asleep anymore. Hit subscribe for more content that doesn't sugarcoat the psychology behind attraction, detachment, and self-mastery. Drop a comment below if you felt the shift before it broke you. Share this with the men who still think silence means safety. Until next time, stay sharp, stay stoic, and never apologize for walking away from anything that doesn't see your worth.